brought a hat. Because I reckon it's going to get cold later. I've also brought some extra lighting. Big job for today, start on the framing. Well, I've been thinking a lot about cold bridges, framing for the ceiling, how to work with these angled sides here. My solution for that is to frame this either side, so the only thing touching the rib will be the cross piece. Insulation is really important for me. I don't like extremes of temperatures. I don't like it really hot, don't like it really cold. I'm a spring and autumn guy, which is bizarre because I do work outside all weathers. I've got the first one on. Now I've decided to go for a flat ceiling. I don't see this very often. I suppose time will tell whether it's actually the right thing to do. I'll clear that. 11 centimeters wide. And then these two cross members, I do lose about 50mm in the middle. So I can put 50mm rock wool, and I've still got space for some multi-layered blanket. There won't be any cold bridges on the ceiling unless you count this as a cold bridge. If I put a 50mm floor in, including the floor finish, I would still be able to walk through the middle without bumping my head. I've got another one in. Now you can see here that I've added, just temporarily, because we're in a van, there is no level. I can't just put a spirit level on anything. I just have to get it as square as I can. When they build these vans, they slot everything together and then they just squirt glue in the gaps. I can't even use the van itself as a square. So, but anyway, I've got the ends on, and I've got these which will speed things up for me because I won't need to hold things up with the top of my head, which isn't particularly comfortable. It's important to me that I do this all myself. I take advice, but the real doing it is me. I'm using drywall screws. They're the kind that are made to bite into sheet steel. Normally these would be driven into plasterboard. They are countersunk, but they are designed to go into sheet steel. That's the important thing, whether it's plasterboard, sheetrock, whatever you call it, or wood. It's not relevant. They're long enough to go in, not long enough to go through the roof. Now I need to make sure that I'm clearing the lip, goes around the rib. Now I can line it up, make sure it's clearing the lips at either side of the rib. I'm using a square cutout in the rib to line up my block. So there's slight differences from rib to rib, from end to end. There we go, that's in. Okay, I can take that off now. They just spot weld them together and glue them, and they they must line them up by eye. I do have a ladder outside in case I get a bit nervous. I can go and check on the roof. Do I measure from the roof? Do I measure from the floor? When neither one of them are that good. I'm not worrying about it. I'm never going to get it perfect, but I'd like to. Flat and there too. just use the first one I cut as a template for the rest. Speed things up when you're cutting a lot of the same thing over and over again. It's to make a template. The reason I've cut 3 holes instead of 4 is just the positioning of the holes in the ribs. I'm just working around the holes that are already on the ribs. Whew. Need to move this out my way. Yeah, 1885 again. That one in the corner there I might need to bring that down a bit. Otherwise it's gonna sweep. If you ever struggle to get these straps off, you know, the ones that pull tight around wood and other things, and you're digging around trying to saw it off with a knife, you can do it with your hands. How easy is that? Let's do that again. Show you with the other end. So you find where the joint is, turn it back to front, peel it. I see people struggling with that, and it's just so easy to take off with your bare hands. This side here, they've got a different shape. That ends there, this ends back here. So I'm going to shape the next joist around that. Just going to cut those ends off. I'll do it by hand, I'm not going to get the jigsaw out just for that. Right, this one can afford to come down a little. Because these two are so close to each other, they really do need to be the same. If there's a variation over a long distance, that'll be hidden. But if the distances deviate over a short distance, it's going to show as a ripple. Yeah, that's got to come down quite a bit. Very good. Well, the straighter I get this ceiling, the better chance I've got of getting the cupboards to sit properly on the ceiling. Most of the framing is done. I need to do that end piece. I will reuse the guide timber that I used, the final piece that will screw to the back of the van. No noggins, no nothing, just screw straight to the metal. It's starting to get dark, and I can see my breath. What do you dig? You have to take the light out. framed out the ceiling, most of it. There's one more piece to do down at the end, which I'll do that tomorrow morning. That won't take me long. I sculpted this, sculpted it. I cut this to, it starts to curve out here. 4 screws into the sheet steel. That ain't going anywhere. What I haven't done is over the cab. That's the one I'm going to do tomorrow. There's still plenty of space here for me to work while I'm putting the fan in. Perhaps next weekend. Still loads of room here. And if I stand on tiptoes to simulate a deeply insulated floor, and I'm just under 6 foot. So standing on tiptoes, then I can still fit my fingers underneath. That's it for another night. I'll pick up again in the morning. To weigh the roof down while I glue the outside panel to the ribs, I've just put the spare wheel up on the roof. Yeah, it really is cool. Sticks like shit. Wouldn't be on TV, would it? It's hilarious. Doesn't take long to set this stuff. Get moving quickly. The tyre's heavy. I'm beginning to wish that I'd put the spare wheel on after. I think for the other bits I'm going to squirt it underneath and then move the tyre. Yeah, squashed down nice and tight. That's been my least favourite job so far. Pushing the panel up so I could squeeze in this sticky stuff that sets so quickly. There's only one rib that only needed a little spot at each end. All the rest of the ribs, they did need quite a bit. It's not easy to work with at all. I tried to clean it up, but it goes off so quickly you don't get much of a chance to do it. So I've just left it as it is. I'm going to be driving the van again in about an hour, so it should be all set by then. I've just been for a 30-mile round trip to the airport, dropping family off for a flight, and I've got to say there's a huge difference with the newly glued roof. And there was a low frequency kind of it was the roof, because now it's glued. That low frequency is gone. It's still noisy as hell in the back, rattling, clanking, the bong 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 bong, and I'm so happy with that I'm going to go around just gluing everything that looks like it could do with a glue. Anything up here, in there, because I'm having such a shit time with the doors. I do feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. Luckily I can cut stuff out. I might struggle to get this in. I do have. It has got me out of trouble before, but I don't think I've got enough hands. I'll see how I get on, but I don't think this is going to work. Right. Okay. This is awkward. Bloody hell. I figure if I can get the first screw in, the rest will be simple. So I'm just going to drill a hole for the first one. I think this rib is just stronger than the rest. Oh my God. Oh, only 2 more of those to do. This constant rain is a pain. It really is, because everything's wet. I'm not really moving around a lot when I'm out gardening, picking stuff up, putting it down, cutting down trees, that kind of shit. Build up a bit of a sweat. Here I'm mostly just sort of standing in a metal box. Smoke drill bit. Can't actually get close enough. I can't measure these, so I have to trust that I'm working from this. This makes an unusable space even more unusable, bringing the ceiling down this low. Oh my God, it's done. It's done. For anyone who's thinking, that's not going to hold up all that insulation. Really strong.